Let's get into our game picks this week. As last week, and when I recorded our last video, wasn't the best. I haven't really had the best picks this season. I'm typically pretty good, but hopefully this week we can bounce back. So, the first one that should be right, Cowboys at Carolina. Dallas. Dak Prescott has been great this past month, and Dallas loves these games. This is where they just beat up on teams by like 28-point victories. There are questions, obviously, when they face really good teams if they're on that tier, and I don't think they are, but they're definitely way better than Carolina, who only has one win this year and the worst record in the league. So Dallas easily there. And then NFC North matchup, Steelers versus Browns. Talk about the injury bug. Deshaun Watson this week announced with the shoulder injury. He is out for the season, and that means I believe it'll be the UCLA quarterback, Thompson. But the Steelers defense with TJ Watt is going to be too much, even though I don't really love the Steelers particularly as much as I did before the season. Kenny Pickett really hasn't developed into what I thought he was going to be in his second year. But I still think the Steelers will win this and improve to an impressive 7-3 record. Then an NFC North matchup, Bears versus Lions. The Lions 7-2. Big win against the Chargers last week in a shootout. Dan Campbell, gutsy call to go for it on fourth down, kill all the clock, kick a game-winning field goal. That guy has a lot of guts, and it's paying off right now, and I believe it will pay off against the Bears, who are not that great. And the Lions will win, improve to 8-2 on the season. And then Chargers versus Packers. Packers had a they've just been struggling after losing to the Steelers. I believe the Chargers, their season's on the line here. Brandon Staley's job is on the line, suffering a tough loss to the Lions. I think they'll bounce back. Justin Herbert played excellent in that game, and he's been playing a lot better since that Cowboys game. And I think the Chargers will win this one to get back to 500. And then Cardinals versus Texans. CJ Stroud and the Texans continue their impressive run and improve to 6-4. I think it'll be a closer game with Kyler Murray back, picking up his first win last week. That was big, but I still think the Cardinals don't have the talent to keep up. And then Titans versus Jaguars in the AFC South. One of my most disappointing performances was Jacksonville last week. I picked them to beat San Francisco, and they just fell flat, 34-3 loss. They got humbled at home. And a lot of question marks around this team. Are they legit, despite having that 6-3 record and in contention for the AFC South? I don't know. And I was so disappointed, but I do think they will win this game and improve to 7-3. I do think they're the best team in the AFC South, and I still want them to be a Super Bowl contender, but I just don't know if they're quite there yet. But they will have enough to beat the Titans. As Will Levis has been all right, but he had a great first week. Kind of struggled last 2 weeks, but been all right. But I think the Jaguars will win this one by like at least 10 points. And then Raiders versus Dolphins. Miami will bounce back off the bye week, coming off a tough loss to the Chiefs, 7-point loss in Germany. Should be close, or decently close, because Antonio Pierce has definitely changed what the Raiders are. They love playing for him. They're 2-0 since Ryan McDaniels, and no one knows it, but they're 5-5. They're still in the thick of the playoff race, but I would have to go with the Dolphins here, especially in Miami. And then Giants versus Commanders. Sam Howell surprisingly leads the league in passing yards. He's been all right as a rookie. He's had his ups and downs, or second year, but really first year as a starter. I think the Commanders will win this one. The Giants are just a mess. Daniel Jones out for the year, one of the most disappointing teams. Be interesting to see if Brian Daboll is firmly to stay next year. It's been kind of a disaster. I don't know what it is with Giants coaches like Ben McAdoo and Brian Daboll having a great first year and then being awful after that. But, yeah, Commanders will win that. And then Tampa Bay versus 49ers. San Fran, after a 3-game losing streak, punked the Jaguars. Still a top 5 team, in my opinion. They just went through a little slump like every team does. They will win this one against the Tampa Bay. Jets versus Bills. Bills 5-5. Already toxic drama coming out with Trayvon Diggs tweeting about Stephon Diggs. You know, there was drama after last year's disappointing playoff run with Diggs being frustrated in Buffalo. Trayvon tweeted about Diggs needing to get out of Buffalo, and you know, I don't really like that, especially mid-season. Like, I know you guys are family and you guys want to look out for each other, but that is just something you don't do. It's getting very toxic there. The Jets have been in their own slump, though, and it's in Buffalo, so I guess I'll take the Bills here, but I'm not really loved. I know they fired Ken Dorsey, but that's not really all their problems. They're going to be fixed by that. Josh Allen needs to cut back on the turnovers. Those have just been his fault. Fumbles, It's been a disaster, but I think they will win this one, and they need to with their upcoming schedule playing the Eagles and Chiefs coming up. They need this one badly. Cowboys. And then Seahawks versus Rams. I think this will be a close one that people expect, especially in LA. But I think the Seahawks will just edge it out. I think they just have the slightly better roster, better defense. Witherspoon can hopefully help contain Puka Nacua and Cooper Kupp. But I think the Seahawks will barely edge it out. And, the division games, those are always tough. And then two very good games, hopefully. Vikings versus Broncos Sunday night. Broncos with impressive wins against the Chiefs and at Buffalo. I think it'll be close, but the Vikings are on a 5-game win streak. I'm rooting for them as a Vikings fan, obviously. Josh Dobbs has been an amazing story. And, despite the struggles, I still think the Vikings got it. It's going to be a tough game in Denver Sunday night, prime time. But, I like the Vikings in this one. I think they just have the better team. Justin Jefferson is questionable, but even with that, I still think they're the slightly better team. Denver's defense has looked much better since the beginning of the season, obviously giving up 70 points like Justin Fields. And the Bears offense go for over 400 yards. I think it'll be a close one, obviously. And it's been great to see Russell Wilson bounce back from what was an awful year last year. But I think the Vikings will win this one barely. Like always, Vikings wins 3 points-ish. Heart racing throughout the game. And then Monday night game of the week, Eagles at Kansas City. I had a tough time deciding who to go with here, but I do think after changing my mind a little bit, I do think Philly will win in Kansas City. I think they want revenge for the Super Bowl, and I think they want to make a statement that they are the best team in the league, and I think they are. Kansas City, like I said, has had a lot more offensive struggles than I anticipated, but their defense has been pretty much phenomenal, though, throughout this whole season. But the Eagles, their defense hasn't been the same it was last year, but their offense is finally coming around, and their defensive line is still one of the best in the league, and you still got Darius Slay and James Bradbury in the back. So I think it should be enough. I think it'll be a close one, but my prediction is the Eagles win something like 27-20. It should be a great game. And we hope to have a review video with some of our squad back. I know it's just me today again on Monday or Tuesday. So we'll see you guys then. Thank you.